she's performing there. And he said, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by performing? And she said, well, you remember when your sister used to sing around the house and everything? She says, well, she's a singer. She's really a singer, and she's performing with James Brown. And he was just like, oh my God, he could not believe it.
I stepped out on faith and I gave my notice. And I'm crying, y'all, because I gave my heart and my soul on that job. Because that was my passion. And sometimes our passion is really not our calling. It's just a passion.
When they say when it rains, it pours. It poured, but I didn't realize that the pour was on purpose. The pour was actually moving stuff out the way, moving people out of my path that didn't belong in my circle anymore.
Jesus loves me, for the Bible tells me so. And he looked at me, he was like, this little girl, how old is she?
He said, this little girl can sing. Look,
This little girl can sing.
Yeah.
Queens, this is your girl, Minister Nakita Davis, the proud CEO and founder of Jesus Coffee and Prayer Christian Publishing House, the #1 Christian publishing house in the land. And you are tuning in to another episode of Success Leaves Clues. And I'm so excited to have Annette here with us today. She is a financial guru, and she is about to get y'all in the game. Annette, Queen, tell them a little bit more about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Annette Campbell. I am the CEO of the Tax Experience, and I'm a financial advisor and motivational speaker. I am very passionate about financial literacy because this is something important that we need to know to help us elevate in our personal life and our business life. And I'm very passionate to help business owners get to the next level. So that's a little bit about me.
Fantastic, Queen. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. Beautiful. Y'all check out this smile, right? Is that not a winning smile? Love it, love it, love it. And as you know, Queens are watching this either live or they're going to be catching it on the replay all over the world, because we literally have women all over the U.S. and internationally that are part of this speaker platform and will be tuning in. So I know they're excited about your clues. So we're going to just jump right in. Tell us how you decided to get into the financial industry. What's the backstory as to how you got into that industry?
So my story is very interesting. I'm 28 years old, born and raised here in Rochester, New York. So I went to school for business and accounting, and I was that person who went to school because, you know, your parents tell you to go to school. I always loved numbers. So my high school was actually based around business, finance, and entrepreneurship. So that was kind of my way into college. Like, okay, that's what I was going to go to college for. And I got my degree, and I landed my job working at a bank. So I thought, you know, I landed a career job. You know, people retire from banks. And I kind of was at a place in my life where, you know, I was still having to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make it. I'm like, okay, why did I go to college? And I still have to find other ways, more jobs to help me, you know, be able to take care of myself. And it was one day where I was sitting at my job, and I'm just like, is this really what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? I'm just like, I started to be exposed to wealth. So one of my friends actually called me up. He knew that I was very business minded. And he was like, Annette, you know, do you keep your options open for different opportunities? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So that was my first entrance to business. Through network marketing, and just being exposed to other people on how they are living their lives. They're not stressing about money. They are actually being able to travel. They're actually having that not having stress of worrying about how they're going to pay bills and just feeling unfulfilled. So when I got exposed to that, I'm just like, okay, there has to be another way. And life hit me shortly right after that. I lost my job, and I was in that space where I was in that phase, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, I was in a very tough financial predicament, right? Because, just trying to figure out, and most people, working a job, they just pay us just enough to come back every single week. They're not paying us enough to really get ahead to be self-sufficient. So life hit me. So I lost my job, and I kind of was at a rock bottom. I was just about to sign the lease to my car. I couldn't do that. And my lease was getting ready to end on my apartment. So I had to make tough decisions very fast to see. And that was kind of like my opportunity to reconstruct my life. I didn't have the best behaviors when it came to money. I didn't have good credit. I was irresponsible with money, not having a budget, not utilizing the things that I really needed to do to help me be in a better financial situation. So that was like my opportunity to kind of get it right, if you will. So that led me to really diving into finances and unlearning my bad behaviors and habits when it comes to money. I had to pretty much kind of reconstruct my life, going from driving a brand new car to walking and getting on the bus again, to having to depend on, family, moving back in after you've been living on your own for at least 7 years. So that was like a real humbling experience. And it was tough, right? Because you're people had me at a pedestal. They always looked up to me, and it's like my world came crashing down. But I knew that wasn't the end. I knew that there was still more to me and what I want to do. So kind of long story short, I eventually, going through, I had to live with my grandma for a little while, going through family, not letting, we all go through those challenges with family, family turning back on me, didn't really want to help me out in that moment. And I eventually had to go through those tough moments, and I couldn't give up on myself. So during those moments, I had the opportunity to actually work at H&R Block. I've always done taxes for my family and friends, and my friends was like, Annette, you're really good at this. Like, I really think that you should really do this. And I'm like, I don't know. So I was like, well, at least I'm going to actually go work for a company that I know does this. And then that led me, I was #1 in my district that year for tax preparation, and I worked there for 3 years, and that led me to actually launching my tax business this year. But during that moment, I really had to just reconstruct my life. I really had to get I said, Annette, if you want to become a millionaire, if you want to travel, if you want to have a better financial foundation, you have to take a look at yourself, and you have to reconstruct and rebuild. And that really led me to my passion to really help people financially, because I was that girl. I'm talking from a place where I've been there, and I want to help other women and just anyone in general just really understand, like, there's still hope. You don't have to live a life full of stress and worry, struggling paycheck to paycheck, and just giving people hope. Financial stress, if people don't know that, it actually alters your brain, how you function. So when you're under financial stress, you operate from a desperation place. So you make very spontaneous decisions fast. So that, how you ever had a situation where you're like, dang, if I would have really thought about this, I probably would have made a different decision. That's where that decision making comes from. So it's really detrimental altogether, to your health, to your brain, to be better financially empowered. That's my brand. So that's how I got into the financial arena, and that led to my passion to really help people, because I was that person. I was devastated. I was all different type of emotions that I went through during that time, but I wouldn't be here talking to you guys right now if I gave up. That was 3 years ago. I wouldn't have the success that I'm having right now if I didn't face my challenges head on and change.
So good, Queen. So good. Love it, Queen, yes. But we find our passion as we're going through. That's why I just said, obviously I know we're women of faith and many of the women who are watching are, and those who aren't, guess what? We're not here to push Jesus down your throat, but I just have to speak from a place of where I'm coming from. And you were able to realign. I heard a lot of clues of realignment, rebuild, refocus. You had to look at the woman in the mirror. You had to unlearn bad behaviors or poor behaviors that was leading to a life of being financially strapped. And we want to walk in abundance. We want to live in the fullness thereof. God didn't say I came so you can have an okay life or a good life. He said abundant. So in order to do that, sometimes you have to unlearn some things and relearn or begin to learn some new things. So that's so good. And like you say, you didn't give up, which is huge. I know a lot of women are watching this and dealing with the pandemic. A lot of people have given up or feel like they're at that point of giving up. What would you say would be the first 3 steps? So tangibly, this whole situation happened. You lost your job, the car, you're back walking, you're staying with grandma. What were the first 3 steps you took to begin to rebuild that you would encourage other women to do if they're also finding their business or just their personal life in a financial shambles? What would be the first 3 things they should do to get right?
The first 3 things I feel like someone should do is just really analyze your situation, right? Because as I work with different women, we have a lot of money. It's just not being tracked. So we don't think that we do have it. So I would definitely say sit down and really look at your financial situation. Really look at how much money you have coming in versus how many bills that you have, and to kind of see where the gaps are, because we do have a lot of money. I've sat down with so many women and they tell me like, oh my gosh, and I never would have thought that I had all this extra money. It's because you're not tracking it. You're just spending, swiping, spending, swiping, spending, swiping. So, take a look at your financial situation. And then number 2, definitely do your budget. Really budget out every single thing that you have to pay for and really be realistic with yourself and give yourself room. We want to enjoy life, right? So just budget those entertainment, date nights, seafood nights, shopping sprees, budget those into your budget so that you're not just randomly just spending extra money. The third thing is reach out for help. And just really reach out for help. That's the thing that I had to do, and a lot of people don't want to reach out for help. Maybe it can be a pride thing, but listen, somebody have been through what you have been through, or have maybe in that same experience, that is not going to look at you from a place of judgment, but they're going to look at you from a place of trying to help you to get out of that financial situation. And you just have to take that first step. Just take that first step and pray on it. I prayed a lot through those times, and I thank God because he brought me through. But definitely just sit down, look at your financial situation, budget, reach out for help, and just really just put a plan in place, right? Because a lot of us do things and we don't want to sit down and actually plan out and strategize. It takes a plan, and it just takes, that foundational level to help you. And that's the things that I did. I had to really, when you're operating with almost down to $0, I couldn't go shopping anymore. I couldn't eat out anymore. I couldn't do anything. All those things were stripped away, and I was grateful because now I know like how I did live without those things for the time being, and being that I don't need to be so impulsive. And sometimes we have to get to the root of the issue, right? So I actually I go through a workshop where we get to the root of the problems, because a lot of us, these are learned behaviors. I learned these things from my mom. My mom literally was a shopper. She did pay her bills, but I learned those kind of bad behaviors through my mom. So like, we've learned these things. So it's not always your fault. So don't try to, be why me, poor me in a sense, or feel guilty on why you're in a situation. It's so many different variables on why you have probably got there, but there's a way out. So try to figure out the root of the issue. Did you see people, is people around you spending, or you know what I mean? Like, figure out what your money relationship, figure out that money relationship and how to fix it to move forward.
That's so good, Queen. I love it. So I hope, Queens, you're picking up these dynamic clues. I heard her say track, Okay, because you don't know if you don't know. So get that old school pen and paper out. She said to budget. Oh, I know that's a bad word. It's a great word. Budget, right? She said you can budget your shopping sprees. It's cool, but just make sure you budget that as well. She said get help. Quite frankly, that's with anything in life. If you're struggling, why is it? It's pride. I'm gonna be honest with you. For any reason, right? If we're struggling and we don't want to get help from knowledgeable people who have been either in the same place or they paid a lot of money to an institution to help you get tight, and we don't want to go there because we're in our feelings, we're prideful. Oh, they'll know that I was a failure in this area, but that's what they're here for. You're helping job stability or career business stability for this individual while you're getting tight. And then a bonus tip I heard you say was to plan, strategize, which is huge. I'm a huge proponent of strategy. Like if I forget who made the saying, I don't know if it was George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, one of them that said if you're cutting down a tree, something like that. If you're cutting down a tree, you want to spend about 80% of the time sharpening your axe, right? And then 20% is actually cutting the tree. Well, it's the same thing here, because if you plan, you get strategic with it and you're tracking, now you know what you're spending, where you're spending, and how much to spend when you spend. So that all makes beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sense. So kind of walk them through, when you get a new client and you're helping them. So maybe they have goals and they say, Anita, and Annette, I'm sorry, excuse me. They say, Annette, I want to be my own boss as well. I want to quit my 9 to 5. What does that process look like for you? This is what you do. This is your jam. Do you create a plan for them, or walk us through that process? Because I know some of the women watching this, they may be entrepreneurs, but they're part-time. They're not full-time yet.
Yes, so I do have, being in tax preparation, that's something that I add extra value. So a lot of women do come to me saying, hey, Annette, like, how do I transition? How do I get to that next level? How do I become my own boss? So first, save, because we have to have working capital. When you start in a business, it can be expensive, right? So you don't want to just leave your 9 to 5 and then just take that leap of faith. I know a lot of people tell people to do that, just take that leap of faith, but realistically speaking, from a financial perspective, like, just you have to have a plan in place. You have to have money. You have to have working capital. So pretty much what I do is I analyze your financial situation to see if you're able, depending on what you're trying to do, to see if you're able to, say if you need an office suite, if you need to actually pay more rent besides what, if you already have a rent or a mortgage already, we're going to put a plan in place to make sure you have at least 6 months to a year worth of your actual bills saved if you do want to just take that leap, so that you're not solely relying on the business income to actually pay your bills, because we need our business income to put back into our business to actually continue to help us generate more money. So that could be your marketing costs, because a lot of us, I always put marketing budgets in your business plan. You have to have a marketing budget. A lot of people think that, maybe you just might pop up that millionaire, but it takes work, it takes strategy, and marketing is a big thing that a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs don't necessarily do or even budget in, and hence, we're new, we're starting our businesses. I'm not saying that you need a lot of money. Even if it's $5 a day, you can run ads to help, give your business some playing ground in this social media arena. So yes, that's definitely what I do. I come up with a plan of action. Make sure you have 3 to 6 months of your bills planned. I make sure we have your business plan in place. We have your financial statements, income statements, to actually understand what is going to, say, for example, if you want to go the investor route, or if you want to get loans, I make sure I help you process your financial projections to understand exactly what you're going to be spending, that from 1 year to 3 to 5 years down the line, and what you're going to need. So you have clear, accurate projections of what you actually need to actually run your business and to be sustainable, because that's what I'm about. I'm about helping women build sustainable businesses, not just businesses that we're just curating and we're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, because that's when you get into trouble if your businesses are not legitimate and it holds you back. Especially, I just want to add this in. It broke my heart because during this COVID, the government was throwing money, and a lot of us Black and brown women, we did not have our financial paperwork together. We weren't filing taxes. We weren't keeping up with our books. So we were at a loss to help bring our businesses to the next level because we didn't have our paperwork together. My phone lines were going crazy because so many people needed to get caught up on these types of things. And I'm doing my best to put together, these statements that they needed to help you get the funding that you need to help keep your business afloat. So the last thing that we want to do is we work hard, right? We work super hard. We put so much energy and passion and love and nurturing into our businesses to not do the proper necessary steps to make sure that we are legitimized and making sure that we are building sustainable business to get us to those 6 and 7 figures and 8 figures and above. So that's what I'm doing. I want to make sure that business owners are set up financially to become the millionaires and the billionaires that we deserve. We want, like you said, we need to be walking in abundance. So we need to make sure that our paperwork is together to be able to do that.
That's so good. Old school used to say, baby, get your house in order. Get your house in order, boo-boo, because you're looking cute and your Instagram look good and your Facebook look good and you're not even a legitimate business, right? And so when these opportunities come, like she said, I, saw a lot of folks that couldn't get it, that wanted it, that needed it, that couldn't get access to the funding, or maybe the second round they could, but by then most of it was depleted because the bigger, smaller businesses got the money first, right? So we want to make sure that you get your house in order. This is so huge. And I get it. You're just starting out and it can get expensive, but do little by little. What you don't want to do is sit back 6 months later, and you're still not legit. A year later, you're still not legit. 2 years, 3 years later, 5 years later, you're still not legit. And that's really hurting you and where God wants to take you, your business, and your impact in the earth. So you definitely want to connect with a queen just like this. Connect with this queen. Get your house in order. Take a look at your financials and make sure you are set up to soar in this season in 2021 and beyond. So good, Queen. What would you say, is the biggest objection or the biggest obstacle you face in your field for queens wanting to take that leap and to get into a place where they're willing to invest in their business, right? Because it's an investment. What you do and what other people do, such as you, is not free, right? This is her business. So how do you help them understand the importance of investing in their business with someone such as yourself for their financials?
It's just like, if you care, I've been saying this lately, if you care about your business dreams, you need to invest. If your why is big enough, if your goals are big enough, if your family means much to you, if your legacy that you want to build means much to you, if you really want to build wealth, if you really want to go out and impact the world and the earth, this is essential. You have to, you guys. Like, listen, we already have our barriers against us, and the last thing we want to do is jeopardize what we have built, right? We put so much time, effort, money, like, and we know the entrepreneurship journey is not, it's hard, right? We go through trials, tribulations, challenges, failures, and just continue to push ourselves. Family and friends not supporting you, all different types of things that we go through. And then you don't want to get to that place where you're not established, right? Because right now I'm facing the women where they want to buy houses. They're full-time entrepreneurs. They have not done their taxes. They cannot buy a house. The banks want your financial. They want your tax documents. They want your financial statements. So without those things, you guys, and you don't want to be that person where you're operating solely at a loss, like just trying to put through a tax return at low income levels, because that's going to prevent you from the beautiful home that you want and desire. It's going to hold you back. So, if you care about, like I said, if you care about your business, you care about your family and who you're doing this for, like, you're going to take the time to invest. Right now is the time. I feel like God he shook us all up, right? He got us out of our normal. He said, okay, let's pause. He gave us this time to actually get it together, you guys. I feel like this was it was so many signs. I know you can agree with me, Nakita. Like, it was so many signs during this whole thing, right in the midst of the storm. This was the time. You know, this is a time to now. This was like almost a wake-up call for any person to know that, look, number one, we can't rely on these jobs. I was that person. I put everything into my job, right? And once that paycheck is taken away, your whole world comes crumbling down. So this was a perfect time to understand, like, more than one source of income is it's not even optional anymore. It's necessary. You need to be investing. That's another. I also help people with investing, because we need to be investing at least 25% of our income back to help us, you know, curate more income, right? We need to be saving. We need to do all these things. I have a 5-20-30 kind of budget plan that I take people through. But yes, saving, investing, having multiple sources of income is key. And just understanding that now is the time, you guys. If you really want to soar in 2021, every business owner needs to have a financial person on their team. Whether it's me, whether it is, you know, you need a tax preparer, a financial advisor, someone needs to be on your team, you guys, because, you know, business owners, we do what we do best, right? You are here to operate and build your business. You're not supposed to really be worrying about your financials. So outsource those things. My mentor always told me, outsource what your weaknesses are. Me, you guys, I'm not the creative person. I will always have a graphic designer, because that's just not me. That's not who I do. That's not what I do. I'm the financial expert. I just need to stay in my lane. and that gives me more opportunity to help women, whoever is watching this, women like you who need that help. Business owners, please, please, please don't let 2021 come without getting the help. Just find someone, because we are able to actually dig into to analyze your business. You know, even if you're at that point where maybe you had your business 8-7 years, you know, exit strategy, you know, making sure that your business is standing on its own 2 feet, and you can sell it if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Setting your business up. I just helped somebody put a plan together to sell their business, and they're selling it for a lot of money. You know what I mean? So just get get a person on your team, you guys. It's so essential. It's so important. You know, if you look around in these big, huge corporations and companies, they have teams of people on there. They have teams of financial people, financial advisors, CPAs, accountants, tax preparers, on their team. So just please, please, please get that. And just tell people, you know, your situation. I've been working with people because I know that it's hard times right now. I've been flexible because I care that much. It's more than the money for me. You know what I mean? I'm really passionate about helping people win financially. So I've been really helping people. I've been curating products, you know, having these free consultations with people to help them just make sure they're on the right track, because that makes me feel fulfilled. So reach out for help, you guys. That would be my biggest objection. I know this is a thing that people don't want to put their money into. We'll put our money into everything else, like you said, the aesthetics, the inventory, the everything else. But this is the financial piece is the heart of your business. It's like, if you neglect the heart of your business, you want it to die almost. Like, that's like, you know, not giving blood to your heart. Like, you have to do these things. So invest. That's the only thing I can say. You guys can probably see how I'm passionate. I just went to a different tempo. Just invest, please, because that is going to determine your success.
That's so good, Queen. I run into so many people that they get the aesthetics, the vanity metrics is what I call it, looking so pretty and so great. And I've had clients where, honey, their website look better than mine. And I'm not upset. I'm not mad at you. But when it comes down to the bank account, what does that say? Because that's the real story. That is the real story. And so some of the things that I tell my clients, because I do, you know, business author coaching, but it's not the same as what she's doing with the taxes and really deep diving into your financials from that aspect. Mine is more so strategy concept, but the concept is, you know, look, that's important and we're going to get there, but let's get to the heart of this thing. And your financials is very important. Like, what's the time, effort, and energy you're putting in? Is it computing to results that you can actually see? And then what are you doing with that money, right? So that's where you're needing to get with my queen right here, so she can help you set it up and have that fundamental piece. That is so good. You know, it's like somebody saying, wanting to lose weight. Perfect time, COVID-19. Couple folks done gained a couple pounds, okay? Freshman 15, and pick them up. Right, but that's saying, oh, well, I just want to look. I just want to look. There are some people that look great aesthetically on the outside, but on the inside, they're dying because they're not getting the right vegetables. They're not getting enough sleep. They're not getting the right vitamins and minerals in their body. And so on the outside, it looks good for now, but eventually what's going on the inside is going to creep out to the outside. Well, it's the same thing with your business. If aesthetically it looks pretty and your social media look good and you got the right graphics, and all of that is important because I do that too. But the inside, if it's not right, like she said, the foundation is not right, then it's going to eventually creep out and it's going to be like a poison to the rest of everything else that you've spent so much time doing. So this is huge. People don't like to talk about it, but it's important. You got to be able to do that. And I love what you said earlier on. You said basically talking about the stress of, you know, not being financially where you want to be or where you're struggling. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Y'all heard her say that. That's huge, right? Nobody wants to be, who wants to walk around stressed, worried about money? You need to know it's of importance and know where it's at, but who wants to walk around stressed like that? You can't operate. You can't operate, like I tell my clients, in your genius zone when you're stressing over, oh, well, how are we gonna get the lights paid? Well, what about the water? Do we have a building? You know, you can't even think. You can't even think. They're gonna cut off the internet today? Oh Lord. So you can't even think. So good, Queen. So tell the queens where you can. I believe I heard where you had something new popping off. I think I saw on social media because, you know, I follow the gurus too. So you had a new project or something new that you released out into the earth recently?
Yes, I did release my bookkeeping bundle. So I made this especially for my business owners because, right, we're in fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is a time where you are analyzing your books, getting your books together, heading into tax season, you know, because we have the opportunity as business owners. We understand, right? We got to pay our taxes. It's just something that we have to do because realistically thinking, if you want to think about it, okay, from a W-2, if you're a W-2 worker, right, the taxes are automatically being taken out of your check. From a business owner, you are receiving that money, so you have to pay those taxes back. But you have the control over how much taxes you actually do pay, and that comes into tracking your expenses, right? So if you're not tracking your expenses right, you're not able to lower your taxable income, which means that you're going to actually end up paying more in taxes. Paying taxes, you guys, let me clear the narrative. It's not a bad thing, right? In the IRS eyes, that means that you are a functioning business. If you are paying taxes, you need to be happy. You need to be praising, like, yes, because they say if you owe, that means that you actually are a functioning business. So don't get scared. Everybody gets scared about taxes and things like that. It's a good thing for business owners if you are paying taxes. We do have the opportunity to lower our taxes. So that's why I created this bookkeeping bundle, because for those who may, if you're starting your business and you're probably the one who has that paper, that notebook and pen, writing down all your expenses and things like that, or if you're a seasoned business owner who just wants to actually get a little bit more structure, this is for you. I have curated a spreadsheet that is a plug and play automatic spreadsheet, you guys, which is golden. You don't have to do any calculations by yourself. It actually, you have a sales goal section where you can put all your sales goals for the year, each month by month by month, and that calculates in a tab called your business metrics tabs, right? Because we need to understand how we are actually functioning in our business. Are we meeting our sales goals, and kind of analyzing that. And then I have a January through December tabs that you can document your income and you're documenting your expenses. You are able to document your sales tax. So if you're selling and shipping from different states, there's different multiple sales tax for different states that you have to be aware of when you're actually selling to different states that you need to keep track of. So that is in the spreadsheet as well. And it talks about your cost of goods. It's really it's an amazing spreadsheet, you guys. It's very intense. You know, it tracks your cost of goods sold, because that's important for e-commerce business owners. You have to be keeping track of your inventory, because that has to be calculated on your tax return as cost of goods sold. So cost of goods, if you guys don't know what I mean by that, that's what it takes to actually prepare your product. So say, for example, you are selling lotions. You need cost of goods is what it takes to actually for you to prepare that to actually send to your customer. So your bottles, your, maybe you're using essential oils, whatever you make to actually make your product, those are your cost of goods sold. Maybe it's packaging, that is considered cost of goods sold. So you need to understand what you're actually spending on your products to understand if you're actually profitable. You guys, I've saved a client $10,000 just off of analyzing her business products. She was paying so much, right? We're trying to just get whatever we can get to actually, that's not going to create a sustainable business, you guys. So I help you see that, see what you're already doing right now to see where you can make changes. And I actually have a profit and loss statement. This is golden. You guys should know this. Profit and loss for business owners. This is what you give to your tax preparer at the end of the year. It breaks down everything. So if you're filling out these tabs, that is automatically calculated for you at the end of the year. So that is making tax time seamless for you, okay? Because most people, they're coming to me with shoe boxes of receipts, all these different things from, I'm like, oh no, we need to be more organized and we need to get it together. So that is automatically calculated for you guys and your business metrics at the end. So it kind of tells you what your net profit margin is, because people think sales is income. It's not income. So it's golden, you guys. I literally put that together because I really care about my entrepreneur and business owners, and I want to give you guys the tools. I do monthly bookkeeping. So say, for example, you're like, you know what, Annette, this is great, but I can't do this. This is too much. I do monthly bookkeeping where I manage it. I manage your business yourself. So those are things, but I really wanted to create something that to start people off, to give them the tools, to get them on the right track. So I was super excited about that bookkeeping bundle. And I have and I have a freebie in there, which is an inventory tracking sheet. So you can track your inventory as well as your bookkeeping checklist. So these are things from paying your quarterly taxes, what you should be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, annually, and yearly basis. Well, I just said yearly, annually. So yeah, quarterly. So daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual basis, what you should be doing for your business, for your financial admin duties. So it's amazing, you guys. Like, and I have a sweet price for that. I'm saving people thousands of dollars just with that tool alone, because if you're paying somebody to do a monthly, it's going to be a lot more than my price. So, go grab it. It's amazing. It's going to help you get on the right track. It's going to help you help you understand your business numbers, right? You should be able to tell me how much you made. You should have a conversation with an investor or, whoever you need to get that information to. You should be able to tell just like that. You should be able to say, oh, this is how much I made. Not like, oh, let me go look and find, you know what I mean? You should be able to know that right off the bat. And that's going to help you be able to grow your business to higher levels.
So good. We used to say when I was in the corporate world before I went into full-time entrepreneurship, it was know your book of business, baby. You should know your book of business. When we were in the room with the GMs and the VPs and you going over your 30, 60, 90 and your stats and all that, you should be able to talk to it like scientifically. And if you can't do that, then you did not know your book of business. And there were some folks who would come in and I was just embarrassed for them, because they did not know their book of business. They did not know their stats. They did not know their SWOT analysis, their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities. They did not know that. And so because of that, it was unfortunate. It would be, egg on their face, but that's a job in your business. That's the heartbeat, right? If that's all you do and you don't have a job, right, this is what you do, then you got to know the heartbeat. You should be able to speak about what you're bringing in, what's going out. You should be able to drill those numbers down. If you can't, she just gave you an amazing tool. So make sure y'all pick it up, Queen. Shoot, I'm going to have to give me one or two. So look, go ahead. I love it. Well, Queen, as we wrap this up, are there any other events or conferences or anything that you can share with the Queens? If not, that's okay. Tell them how they can stay in connection with you. How can they follow you? What website? How can they get more of you is what I'm trying to say, because I know they want it.
Yes. So I do have a lot of things being released heading into tax season. So you guys stay tuned. I have a ebook. It's going to be a freebie actually on the must deductions that business owners must know, you guys. So these things are going to help you be, we put so much money into our business. We deserve to get whatever we can back at tax time, because IRS do understand that, we are, when you're starting your business, you might take some losses. So they're willing to give you some money back. So tracking, and this is why I, kind of put products out here to make sure that you guys are tracking, you guys are on track. So yes, I have, heading into 2021, I have a master course coming out that, stay tuned, is going to be all about how to win at the money game, overcoming debt, doubtfulness, and just really gearing yourself into 2021 to how to be better at get better managing your credit, building your credit. And I talk about business credit, you guys. I talk about the abundance, the financially empowered woman, and what does that look like. And for my women who are still working, I talk to you guys about how to talk to your boss about increasing how much they pay you. So I even have scripts. I have helped women actually get raises. So it's just going to be a really good master course that's coming out in January. And definitely tax season 2021 is coming fast. You guys, if you guys are looking for someone who's going to go above and beyond for you at tax season, or just someone that you just really need to connect with financially, that's going to help you get to the millions and billions that you deserve, and really be able to analyze your business to take you to the next level, and even just whatever you need, just definitely connect with me. You can connect with me on Facebook. It's Annette Campbell. And my business page, my business is the Tax Experience. So you can definitely find that business page on Facebook. And my Instagram is _success with Annette. You can follow me on there as well. So.
Yes, fantastic. I love it, Queen. You just have a wealth of knowledge. You're bright, you're bubbly, you're sharp, you're smart, and you've also been there, done that, which is huge, because a lot of times you get gurus, experts in their field, but they haven't been through anything. And I'm not knocking them. They say the wise man is someone who doesn't have to go through it. They can learn from your mistakes. But the one who can really penetrate your heart, I believe, is the person who has gone through what you have gone through. There's no shade to people who have not, right? Some people may not have been homeless. Some people may not have lost their home, or whatever the case may be, and they can still speak to you and give you tangible tips, but it hit different when it's someone who has experienced similar or like things that you've experienced, and now they're speaking to you from a place of authority and expertise, but also experience, and you can't buy experience. So I love that you have that multifaceted, and that women really, and men too, but this will be shown to women, so but that they can really soar through some of your guidance, and then when they're ready to level up, so whether that be taking the courses or getting the tax bundle first, and then maybe evolving to working with you one-on-one, or in your boot camp masterclass that you've got going on in January, then they're ready to take those right steps. So you've been fantastic, Queen. Thank you so much. You're awesome. I love it. And I look forward to working with you in the future as well. I know some queens who definitely would want to take advantage of your services, your product lineup, to get themselves in the game in 2021. So we'll definitely be in contact. Well, yo, this is your girl, Minister Nakita Davis, the proud CEO and founder of Jesus Coffee and Prayer Christian Publishing House, the #1 Christian publishing house in the land. And you have just listened to an amazing episode of Success Leaves Clues. Y'all better replay this, watch this, do what you need to do, because this queen just dropped some gems, some nuggets that could actually change the trajectory of not only your business, but your legacy and your financial life in your home and your family or your workplace. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.